Carmen is a novella by Prosper Mérimée, written and first published in 1845. It has been adapted into a number of dramatic works, including the famous opera by Georges Bizet. Plot summary. The novella comprises 4 parts. Only the first 3 appeared in the original publication in the October 1, 1845 issue of the Revue des Deux Mondes. The 4th first appeared in the book publication in 1846. Mérimée tells the story as if it had really happened to him on his trip to Spain in 1830. Part 1. While searching for the site of the Battle of Munda in a lonely spot in Andalusia, Mérimée meets a man who, his guide hints, is a dangerous robber. Instead of fleeing, Mérimée befriends the man by sharing cigars and food. They stay in the same primitive inn that night. The guide tells Mérimée that the man is the robber known as Don José Navarro and leaves to turn him in, but Mérimée warns Don José, who escapes. Part 2. Later, in Córdoba, Mérimée meets Carmen, a beautiful Romany woman who is fascinated by his repeating watch. He goes to her home so she can tell his fortune, and she impresses him with her occult knowledge. They are interrupted by Don José, and although Carmen makes throat-cutting gestures, José escorts Mérimée out. Mérimée finds his watch is missing. Some months later, again in Córdoba, a friend of Mérimée's tells him that Don José Navarro is to be garroted the next day. Mérimée visits the prisoner and hears the story of his life. Part 3. Our robber's real name is José Lizarrabangoa, and he is a Basque hidalgo from Navarre. He killed a man in a fight resulting from a game of pom and had to flee. In Seville he joined a unit of dragoons, soldiers with police functions. One day he met Carmen, then working in the cigar factory he was guarding. Is he alone in his unit? Ignored her, she teased him. A few hours later, he arrested her for cutting X's in a co-worker's face in a quarrel. She convinced him by speaking Basque that she was half Basque, and he let her go, for which he was imprisoned for a month and demoted. After his release, he encountered her again and she repaid him with a day of bliss, followed by another when he allowed her fellow smugglers to pass his post. He looked for her at the house of one of her Romany friends, but she entered with his lieutenant. In the ensuing fight, José killed the lieutenant. He fled to Carmen's outlaw band. With the outlaws, he progressed from smuggling to robbery, and was sometimes with Carmen but suffered from jealousy as she used her attractions to further the band's enterprises. He also learned that she was married. After her husband joined the band, José provoked a knife fight with him and killed him. Carmen became José's wife. However, she told him she loved him less than before, and she became attracted to a successful young picador named Lucas. José, mad with jealousy, begged her to forsake other men and live with him. They could start an honest life in America. She said that she knew from omens that he was fated to kill her, but Carmen will always be free, and as she now hated herself for having loved him, she would never give in to him. He stabbed her to death and then turned himself in. Don José ends his tale by saying that the Romany are to blame for the way they raised Carmen. Part 4. If readers expect a continuation of the story, perhaps with a description of José's execution, they will be surprised. This part consists of scholarly remarks on the Romany, their appearance, their customs, the conjectured history, and the language. According to Henry Martineau, editor of a collection of Mérimée's fiction, the etymologies at the end are extremely suspect. Differences from the opera, as the above summary and that of Bizet's opera indicate, the opera is based on part 3 of the story only and omits many elements, such as Carmen's husband. It greatly increases the role of other characters, such as the Danker, who is only a minor character in the story, the Remendado, who 1 page after he is introduced is wounded by soldiers and then shot by Carmen's husband to keep him from slowing the gang down, and Lucas, who is seen only in the bull ring in the story. The opera's female singing roles other than Carmen, Michaela, Frasquita, and Mercedes have no counterparts in the novella. Carmen knows her fate not from reading cards but from interpreting such omens as a hair running between José's horse's legs.